So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. 3 military tarps brought out here to the wild. On my far left, first contender, we have British DPM. In the centre we have the MTP. And to my right here we have our guests brought from overseas, the US Marine Corps TARP. Today I will battle all 3 of these out and find who is the victor. Morning everybody, Nick here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Hope you're all doing okay. So here I am, up the woods, doing a video on tarps. So what we're covering today, we're trying to cover... Good morning. That is Chris, Sticks Outdoors, just giving you a good morning. Good morning. I have Sticks Outdoors and Life's a Hobby on the phone at the moment. We're nattering. So yeah, here we go. Right, tarps. So my most commonly used tarp of today, MTP, British Army issue tarp. Had it for a couple of years, good bit of kit. Prior to that, used to use the DPM tarp, and there's a reason why I've gone from the DPM tarp to the MTP, which will become obvious in a minute. And recently from John in America, thank you very much John, I have a US Marine Corps tarp. So I want to compare these 3, see what you think. And in a later video we'll be doing a winter camp, and you will see me using the US Marine Corps tarp and the Wooby for my sleep system. Ooh, does it work, does it not work? At minus 45 degrees with the penguins ice skating around me, polar bears tearing at me. Yeah, so we'll be comparing that, seeing these kits. So, initial... Chris laughing in the background there. So initially, what do I think? Right, so I'll be honest with you, the US tarp, even with all these bungees on it, it's nice, it's small, and it is, and I'm not going to weigh them, but comparably same sort of weight as the UK one, the MTP, which is just a fraction heavier than the old DPM. What we're going to have a look at now is the materials they're made of. So what we're looking at materials wise, right, so let's start with what I know. Okay, so we go to the UK issue tarp here. So sheet shelter, okay, this is a sil nylon, so it's a silicone nylon base. Okay, it's quite thin, makes it quite light, yet it is pretty durable, strong. Has metal grommets all the way around it. It has no poppers on it, so it doesn't connect straight into another one to double up. Okay, that's one downside. But on 3 edges, you've got this thick canvas webbing. So 3 edges, 2 edges, and a centre. And these have carrying handles on them. Okay, that are spaced out down the tarp, 4 carrying handles each side. The idea of this tarp is it will double up as a stretcher. Okay, so if you've got a casualty evacuation, not only is it a shelter, it can double up as a stretcher system so that you can carry a man out of a situation or a person out of a situation. It's very, very well made. They're very, very sturdy. I've used the DPM version and this MTP one for years, and it's been one of my standard go-tos. Now, the old DPM one, there is a difference in the fact that this is just a nylon. It's not a sil nylon. The silicone technology wasn't there then, so it's just a tighter weave nylon. Comparably, yeah, it's the same piece of kit. It has the same carrying handles. 1, 2, 3, 4 carrying handles on each side, and the same again through the centre, so you could double it up and use this as a stretcher. It was wonderful. It was a good bit of kit. It's in DPM. Now, there is a difference between these, which I will show on the camera in a minute. Water wise, yeah, about the same. Weight wise, about the same. Durability, about the same. There's a difference in size. not a massive difference in size, but the MTP tarp is larger. It is slightly longer. Okay, it has a slightly larger footprint, and that was designed pure and simply because they found that once you're actually under your shelter and you've got your bags, you've got your gear with you, yeah, with the DPM you could run out of space. Camouflage wise, what do people think? Well, there are those that love the DPM, there's those that like the MTP. Me personally, I'm not in a combat role, so I'm not particularly worried about the camouflage. Okay, if I want to be discreet, I know from my own experience that in actual fact it's not the camouflage that matters, it's where you put it, how you use the light around you, how you use the environment, the materials, the plants around you to make yourself a bit more discreet and hidden. So whether you're using this type of camouflage, which in the middle of autumn, bear in mind that all the bushes are golden, the green stands out like a sore thumb, that would be better. But again, camouflage, I'm not in a combat role. All I use my shelters for is an emergency shelter system, something to keep me dry, and possibly pull out the casualty. So I'm not too worried about it being super covert. That brings me on to the American tarp. Now, I haven't even opened this out fully yet, but already I've spotted two things that I like, and that is it's reversible, it's a ripstop nylon on the outside, it's obviously double layered, or it's I think it's a PU coating rather than double layered. So it's a PU coating, it's definitely thicker than the UK system. It's a Marpat. It has poppers on it down the sides so that it can be connected together or could connect to another one, which means you could connect 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these up together in theory, make a larger shelter out of it. I like that. Because it's thicker, I think it's going to have a little bit more heat retention, although tarps don't have a massive heat retention, but they do have a little bit. Yeah, I like it, and it's reversible. So it's coyote on this side, camouflage on this side, and to be honest with you, that Marpat I think probably actually works better than the DPM or the MTP in an environment like this, because after all, DPM is not meant to blend in, it's meant to disrupt your shape. Okay, DPM, disruptive pattern material. Okay, disruptive pattern, it's to blend you in, it's to make you look like part of the environment, not to actually make you disappear. It's the often misconception with camouflage. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to reposition the camera. I'm going to pull out, first of all, the so using the British vernaculars, can I dust down under this? Yeah. So lengthwise, yeah, could do with being a little bit longer, but will work. You slept in it this way, yeah, works. It's a good shelter, it's a nice thick shelter, I really like it, so that would work. So what we'll do, okay guys, so that's this seen as a basic simple shelter. Now you could diamond it out, you could plough point it off of a tree, there are many different systems for making a shelter with this.
You ain't quiet.
Plough pointing is probably going to be the best method. However, one of the things that you've got to remember, especially as somebody from the UK, that's not really its primary role. So the primary role for this shelter system is going to be used with the Wooby, which we will be demonstrating on a later video when I challenge this system with the UK system. So, how do you use this with a Wooby? Okay, so we have in the UK, you'd be issued a tarp and a bivvy bag and a tent. Works is instead of having a bivvy bag, this tarp system poppers together. So I've poppered the bottom together, I've poppered halfway up the side. Now, I could throw a Wooby into this, I could throw a sleeping bag into this, I could throw whatever I need to. And the idea being, and there's room enough for a seat mat in there, and it is quite spacey, it is quite large. There is more than enough room. I can hunker down into this, pop it all the way up, and it will double up as a bivvy bag. Okay. Heat retention, yeah, it's got a bit of heat retention because it's quite thick material. I can feel it already working. It's starting to hold my body temperature. You combine this with the Wooby, you combine this with a Mylar system. Yeah, you're going to be warm, dry, it's light, it's mobile. Yeah, it's quite efficient. I like it. So I'm going to do a comparison on another video, which will be, this is a sleep system overnight, and the British bivvy bag. Okay, compare the two, see how we go with that. I like this because this is a go kit. This is something you could throw into a small pack in the vehicle for emergencies. This is something that you could be, do you know what, I'm not intending to stay out overnight, but just in case, it could go into your gear, sit at the bottom of your bag, doesn't take up a huge amount of space. It would do. Even if you weren't carrying a Wooby, if you just needed to shelter a body out in an environment, the bonus this has got over most tarps is those poppers, the fact that you can pop it together and form that bag out of it. So yeah, I like that, and it's going to be quite efficient for what you want. So let's hang that over there. Let's do a comparison. What would I do with the British tarp? Well, do exactly the same thing with the British tarp. It's just that it's not got the poppers in the sides to pop together, and that's it. That's the downfall of the British tarp in comparison. It's a good tarp. I like it. I've used it for many years, but it's not a taco shelter system. It is to keep the weather off of you, okay, and then for you to slide something underneath it, be it a sleeping bag, roll mat, bivvy bag. That has hit two problems with one answer. Quite like it. In a perfect world, I wish it was another 12 inches long by another 12 inches wide. That would really be quite an improvement, but again, from a military role, you've got to think about packaging, formatting, and these guys don't just randomly pick numbers out of their head in a military role. They do their research and they come up with what is going to be the best all-rounder. So again, one size doesn't always fit all. That's just life. So let's go back and start with the basics. Right, old DPM tarp. Okay, so as I've said, there's canvas handles that are sewn into it down two sides and the middle, so it's designed to be folded in half, use the handles and carry it as a stretcher, and there's four handles down each side and down the centre. It also has large reinforced metal grommets and the tapes, and the grommets are put through the tapes in the corners and in the sides, so the tape reinforces the canvas. It's a very, very strong system and does work absolutely brilliantly. It's hard to show the thickness on the video. You can hear it rustle. Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. It's a good bit of kit. The MTP tarp is exactly the same construction. Exactly the same construction. The only difference being it's just that 8 centimeters difference in length. Okay, and the materials used is, this is a sill nylon, which is a bit more modern, so they've taken the nylon, gone with a lighter nylon, treated it with silicone, makes it a little bit less noisy, a little bit more waterproof, whereas this was old school nylon. It's just a heavier weave. It's not treated with silicone. If you treated that with silicone, oh, blimey, you're going to have a good system. The US system, I like this. So there we go, that's the outside. As you see, it's a nice fine ripstop. It's a tight weave nylon. It's really well stitched in the corners. You've got the metal reinforced grommets. I don't know if these bungees come standard or whether John fitted them for me, but a great addition to the kit, and they are on every single eyelet, okay, which is brilliant. The inside, the Coyote side, okay, I think is a PU coating, okay, to add to the waterproofing, which actually makes it, it's less quiet, makes it slightly heavier and a slightly better thermal efficiency. The poppers, which go all the way around it, are basically a heavy duty plastic popper, simple as that, which allows you then to make the taco shelter. Would also allow you to connect this to another one, another tarp, and in being able to connect several tarps together, you can increase the size of the shelter. Okay, so yeah, brilliant. I love it, I love it. And yeah, I think it's a great bit of kit, and as I say, I'm really looking forward to getting out and using it. There are people have sent me all sorts of messages about how to convert this to a poncho using the poppers. Apparently there's all sorts of patterns and that, which we'll have a play and a try with over the next few months. But yeah, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Anyhow, other than that, when we get back to camouflage, I know the sun's shining through it, so when we're getting back to being invisible in the woods, what works for you? Okay, which camouflage pattern works for you? Doesn't really, for 99% of us who aren't in the military, tactical, yeah, works. Do you need to be tactical? Are you genuinely hiding? Okay. If you really, really need to be camouflaged, you're going to take a tarp and a camo net and a ghillie suit and some war paint, and you're then going to really get into the environment. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. DPM works for me, MTP works for me, Marpat works for me. More importantly, keeps off the weather. That's why you want a tarp. It's to keep the wind, the rain off you. It really don't matter what it looks like, do it? Anyhow, other than that, this is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, telling you tarps, DPM, MTP, US Marine Corps, a bin bag. Doesn't really matter, does it? It's how you use it. Each one of these tarps has a specific role and a place in your kit, okay? Find the system that works for you. If you're going to spend your life looking for a piece of kit to give you the answer rather than how you use the piece of kit, and using skill set and mindset to adapt and overcome the situation or the conditions that you're facing, you're stuffed. Because I can tell you now, there is no single one piece of kit to rule them all. However, good thinking, good mindset, good common sense, good practicality, whether you use canvas, whether you use sil nylon, whether you use the latest Gore-Tex or whatever, find what works for you. Okay, all three of these tarps have got a place in my kit, and they're all pretty much on par with one another, although each one has a slightly different edge and a different job, but they're all good kit. That's Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Love those you do, forget those you don't, and as always, peace and light be upon you all. Till the next time. Oh, well, what should I tell you about the next time? Nah, I'm not telling you nothing about the next time. You'll have to wait and see. Mickey out.